What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer, and it's that time again. We've gotten more new Overwatch 2 survey skins. The first set of survey skins in quite a while at this point. I was starting to worry they weren't going to be showing these off anymore, but nonetheless, we have 10 new sets of survey skins featuring some pretty cool concepts for many of our favorite heroes. And so today I'm going to be diving into all these new skins, walking through them, talking a little bit about my thoughts on them, and just generally showing off what we could have to look forward to later down the line. So starting things off, I do want to give a very special thank you to Hammy, Proto-VI, Xenophi, and Overwatch Cavalry, of which I'm sure most, if not all of you are already familiar with, for helping to either source these images from the surveys themselves and collect them together for us all to view. I'll have their Twitter accounts all linked down in the description. Be sure to show them some love. But now let's jump into the actual skins in today's video. So, as I mentioned, we have 10 themes as outlined here in Hammy's post, including the themes Retro Cute, Holographic Gothic, Futuristic Hospital, Fairy Tale Warrior, Snow Sports, Monster School, Ghostly Bride, Fall Fashion, Cyber Angels, and High Fashion Mafia. So, let's jump right on in, starting with the Retro Cute theme, with skins for Juno, Freya, Orisa, and Wrecking Ball. Now, these are pretty girly, pink, pop-type skins, and they definitely evoke a sort of, 90s Tamagotchi is what comes to mind, specifically with that Orisa skin. Her head is just straight up a Tamagotchi. And I gotta say, these are skins that feel very targeted toward a specific demographic of the Overwatch player base. Ones which I think a lot of people would be very excited to get their hands on, especially those millennials who actually grew up with toys and merchandise that fit this sort of aesthetic. And I gotta say, while I wasn't expecting Wrecking Ball to be a part of this, I quite like the look of his outfit here. It's pretty girly, but it's fun. Wrecking Ball gets some fun skins. All four, I gotta say, are pretty impressive across the board, and is definitely a theme I could easily see people getting really excited for if it ended up coming to the game. Next up, though, we get the Fall Fashion set with those bright orange colors with skins for Sombra, Zenyatta, Venture, and Mercy, all looking sort of cozy with their sweaters and vests and jackets, and Zenyatta turning into a fox, I guess. Bit of an interesting choice to make Zen just a fox as a part of this theme, but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. It definitely also has a sort of quasi-retro vibe to it as well. It feels more like a old school type fall fashion, even with Mercy. Mercy looks like she has an old school film camera hanging from her side. I don't know if that's exactly what that's supposed to be, but it definitely looks like a camera to me. And overall, probably not one of the more exciting or outstanding themes, especially from the ones we see here today, but a very cozy sort of theme, and one which would feel right at home with the time of year we're in currently, just moving into fall at the moment. So I don't expect us to see these this year. I think it's a bit late in the year already for us to get a survey skin added then immediately as a new skin in say season 19. But certainly for 2026 and beyond, I could see them adding a few skins along this line. Next up, though, is a skin line which I think would be extremely popular if it were to get added, and that is the Monster School, with skins for Widowmaker, Ramattra, Mei, and the new hero, Wooyong. And I gotta say, these four look phenomenal. Definitely a very, again, targeted theme based on some other real-world sort of IPs and properties, like the Monster High series and stuff like that. Would be a perfect theme to have during the Halloween season, which again, we're getting pretty close to Halloween as is, so I don't know if we'll be seeing these this year per se, but sometime later down the line, definitely I could see these being actual skins in game. Ramattra specifically, I just adore how they made him the jock, and he's just straight up holding a football. Who knows what happened to his staff? He just ditched that. He's got a football now, and it looks amazing. All four great skins, definitely a theme I could see people getting really excited for. And then next we get the Fairy Tale Warrior theme, which at first glance I thought was supposed to be the fall fashion, which I showed off earlier, but no, definitely seems more in the line of Fairy Tale, especially with that Reinhardt skin specifically, who's a straight up dark dragon demon thing. Additionally, Widowmaker, Brigitte, and Genji have some fairy tale type skins as well. Brig and Genji specifically look straight out of Oktoberfest, which again is why they feel like they have so much in common with the fall fashion theme. But definitely I think Brig is the one that stands out to me most here. This skin is perfect for Brigitte, and she doesn't get enough skins as is, so I would love to see her getting something more along these sort of lines in the future. And while Reinhardt already has a demon skin and multiple skins that sort of fit that intimidating vibe, it would be a cool look for him to get something more like this. And all across the board, again, not my favorite theme we see here today, but a cool one that I could definitely see some people being interested in. And then next we get what I consider to be perhaps the strangest theme here in this survey, the futuristic hospital with skins for Mercy, Ana, Widowmaker, and Sigma. Now, it makes sense for Mercy and Ana, they're both medics in their own right, but then Widowmaker kind of feels like she's only here because sexy nurse? Maybe? And then Sigma is just a doctor in scrubs, which, like, I don't dislike this Sigma skin. I actually think it's pretty cool, especially with how unique it is, but I don't really understand why Sigma specifically is here? I don't know. It's a peculiar theme across the board. Again, I don't dislike it by any means. It's just odd and unexpected. The skins themselves, I think, do look pretty nice, but I don't know. Interesting theme. I'm curious to see if this is one that ever actually ends up making it in game, and would definitely be a sort of unique twist on that sort of hospital doctor slash nurse aesthetic. And then next we get the Cyber Angels with skins for Echo, Reaper, Juno, and Pharah. These take a sort of sci-fi neon tech aesthetic and mix it a bit with the angel vibe, which we especially see with Echo, who already has a very angelic design, and then Reaper, we can see the sort of like winged feathers for his cloak. Again, an overall pretty cool looking design, a bit boring for me personally though. It kind of feels a little generic on the cyber front, and like I think the Juno skin looks nice, including the halo is a cool little detail for her. But overall, not a theme that I would find super exciting personally, but definitely is the sort of thing that I think a lot of people would be eager for because, well, cyber skins along this sort of line tend to be popular. And I think this would be no exception if and when we see any of these skins make it into the game. And next then we get High Fashion Mafia. This is a rather interesting one again. Skins for Bob slash Ash, Ana, Wooyoung, and Moira. Now, these ones are interesting because Ana here straight up looks nothing like Ana. When I first saw her, I literally thought it was Junker Queen just because of the grand stature and sort of like smirk expression she has. But no, that's supposed to be Ana, apparently. I don't know where her rifle went, but oh well. Again, Wooyoung as well doesn't really look like Wooyoung other than holding the staff. And overall, gotta admit, not really my cup of tea aesthetically. Again, I think there is definitely an audience for this type of theme and skin design, and I gotta admit, Moira's at the very least looks very impressive. I think there are a lot of people who'd like this theme particularly, but I am not specifically one of them. Hey, maybe y'all disagree. Maybe this is something you all in the comments are super hyped for, and if so, well, fingers crossed that you end up getting some of it. And then the next set of skins we have to look at is Holographic Gothic. Again, an unexpected, interesting sort of combination of genres, I suppose, but pretty cool looking skins for Ashe, Reaper, Symmetra, and Hazard. I definitely like the sort of rainbow, neon, holographic, I guess you would say, color scheme you get sort of implemented in each of these characters' designs. Hazard especially, I think, is a really unique look with his entire weapon having that sort of colorful, bright look to it, and then even making the crystals on his back match that same aesthetic. Overall, a cool looking theme. I don't think there's too much to really say specifically about this, other than that I like it. And again, I think it's a theme that a lot of people would be interested in seeing, and I'd be curious to see the actual like effects of those neon holographic color components of these designs if they actually added these to the game. So, I don't know, fingers crossed someday, maybe we'll see what that looks like. And then next we get on to snow sports, another very fun theme, if you ask me, with skins for Kiriko, Sojourn, Orisa, and Cassidy. And first and foremost, I gotta say, there is something deeply cursed about the Orisa skin here. Some sort of unholy snowmobile snowman hybrid machine, but I love it. It's amazing. Orisa as a snowman is terrifying. You add in the fact that she's some sort of weird snowmobile thing on top of that. I can't help but love this skin. Please, Blizzard, make this Orisa skin a real thing. But the others, of course, all look great as well. Kiriko as a skier looks remarkably good, and considering it's Kiriko, I'm willing to bet we are in fact going to see this skin eventually. Even Sojourn looking pretty good with her Canadian representation there on her jacket. And then Cassidy, he's got something going on. I don't, maybe the less said the better. I don't really know what he's up to. He's maybe had a bit of a midlife crisis by the look of things, but either way, a fun and interesting skin nonetheless. And that then takes us to the final skin theme we have here today, but one which I think is probably going to be some people's favorites out of everything we've seen, which is the Ghostly Bride set. Yes, we just got some quasi-bridal skins in this season, and already we're seeing a new survey collection with skins for Diva, Baptiste, May, and Ashe, which fit this same theme. And I gotta admit, I love all of these. Diva's especially. I love the sort of dilapidated chapel design they did for her mech. That's such a cool aesthetic to go with. And not to mention Diva herself looking pretty good. And then going over to Ashe, I love how Bob is just this ghostly butler with like candles all over him. I love what they do with his head here, where it's just this like simple ghost head sort of popping out the top. All four of these look phenomenal, and I really hope we see something like this get added. I think there's a pretty good chance for them too, considering we already have the Widowmaker Ghostly Bride skin. And as I mentioned, they just added some non-ghost bride skins. I have a hunch that these would sell pretty well if they added them, so yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance for these. That does it though for all the skins we have in this survey here today. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know which ones are your favorites in the comments down below. Is there a specific theme or even a specific skin from one of them that you would really love to see added to the game? If so, be sure to let me know, and otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch 2 news, streams, and other content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. And if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Be sure to check out my second channel, Suki MIG, for a fun side project of mine. And otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.